guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reacting to a video called Your Ultimate Guide to Public Transport in the Netherlands. This is from a channel called Dutch Guide. I think, they must have a pretty good public transportation system, just because I believe if everyone is using bikes, then, they're using bikes, they're using buses, and they're not using cars, certainly. So I'm excited. Let's check it out and comment, like, and subscribe.
Hey there! Welcome back to Dutch Guide, your compass to navigating everything Dutch. I'm super excited about today's video because we're tackling a topic that often seems like a real puzzle for newcomers and visitors. That's right, we're diving into public transport in the Netherlands. Getting around in a new country can be a little overwhelming.
It is.
There are so many options and so many rules. But don't fret, because today, I'm going to guide you through the ins and outs of the Dutch public transport system, making your journeys effortless and your Dutch adventures even more enjoyable. If you've been struggling with where to buy tickets, which apps to use, or how to get the best deals on your travels within this country, you are in the right place. In this video, we are about to delve into all the essential tips and tricks that will have you navigating the Dutch transport system like a local. So let's dive into it and make traveling in the Netherlands as easy as riding a bike. Given its compact size, the Netherlands has an incredibly efficient and well-connected public transport network.
I like compact instead of small.
This makes getting from A to B super easy. Whether you're in a bustling city or a tranquil village, there's always a way to get around.
I love that because I think even in the smallest town, there's going to be a way to get there by bus or by train. It's not necessarily you need to use a car. You need to rent a car.
Starting off with trains, one of the most popular ways to travel around
trains.
here.
Yes, I would assume it's
The main player is NS, recognized by their distinctive long yellow trains. They operate most services, linking various cities and towns. But
I'm surprised it's not orange.
Besides the NS, there are also regional train operators like Arriva and Keolis, serving specific areas, especially handy when you're venturing into more localized regions. For international journeys, there's Thalys to Paris and Brussels, ICE to German cities, and Eurostar, bringing London closer to Amsterdam.
Oh, it's just for London. Yeah, of course. The Eurostar is British.
When in Amsterdam, GVB runs the show. They run buses, trams, metros, and even ferries in the city, ensuring smooth travels around the capital. One handy thing to note is the North-South Metro line. It's a speedy connection running from the north to the south of the city, passing through the city center.
15 minutes.
It's a real time saver if you're looking to zip across.
Well, it looks 15 minutes. I know that's really short, a short amount of time. But also, I don't think Amsterdam is that big. So, I have to give them that.
Across Amsterdam. The ferries are a free and scenic way to get from the city center to Amsterdam North, crossing the Y River.
But I guess I would assume that's more scenery based and a lot of touristy, because I would imagine the actual, the locals don't use the ferry because it's going to take me forever, I would assume.
Just like Amsterdam has the GVB, in Rotterdam, it's the RET that takes the lead. They operate buses, trams, and metros. Whether you are exploring the iconic cube houses or visiting the vibrant Markthal, RET makes your travels around Rotterdam very convenient. And just a heads up, not every Dutch city offers trams and metros. Trams are present in Amsterdam, Rotterdam, The Hague, and Utrecht, while metros are mainly in Amsterdam and Rotterdam.
Yeah, of course, I know that not every city has a subway. Only the big cities have subways. So I know it's not really feasible to build a subway system if, the town only has 5,000 people.
Additionally, it's worth noting the presence of regional bus companies such as Connection and Arriva in more remote or regional areas of the Netherlands.
Yeah, they do buses.
They are lifesavers in areas where trains don't venture, making sure every corner of the Netherlands is accessible.
But I think so many countries would kill for something like this.
Now that we've explored the various modes of transport, let's discuss a key component to accessing them. The OV chip card.
Do they all use the same chip
card? This is a contactless smart card and is essential if you plan to use public transport in the Netherlands. Now, there are two main flavors of this card.
Okay, only through official website or by filling out a form. A form? At stations. You have to fill out a form as in a bank. It's cost $7.50. Oh, that's really cheap. Well, I don't know how much that gets you. Good for those who travel often and want a subscription with discounts. Yeah, the $7.50. That's how much. It's just one. It can be a two round trip. I don't know. Maybe it's not that cheap.
First up, we've got the personal card. You can only get one of these online through the official OV Chip Card website,
Yeah, but
or you can fill out a form at the stations.
It's virtual,
It'll
right?
cost you €7.50
Like, it's in your phone, but it's not physically a card, right?
and it's good for 5 years. The
Oh, good
perks,
for fun.
well, you can
Does it expire? What? Do those things expire? I thought that was kind of forever, maybe?
load subscriptions on it, which is great if you are planning to use the public transportation often for a longer period of time.
Yeah,
You can also enable automatic top-up, and if you have kids under 12, they can tag along for free if you activate this feature.
What?
If you're 65
free?
or over, you're in for some discounts with this one too.
Oh, wow.
However,
love
keep in
that.
mind, it's not for free.
Yeah, the senior discount, but I didn't know that kids under 12 just are exempt from paying this, which I think is great.
A subscription fee is required to avail of the discounts.
But it's probably
Then,
worth
there's
it.
also the anonymous card, which
The anonymous card sounds quite ominous. Get it online or at train stations, supermarkets. Okay, yeah, get it 7th. Okay, it costs the same. Several people can use it separately, not at the same time. Okay, great if you're not sticking around for too long. Exactly, if you're a tourist.
is super
this
handy if you're
the way
not
to go.
sticking around for long. You can lend it
It's
to a
anonymous.
friend, and you can pick one up very easily at train stations, most supermarkets, and newsagents. This one
Okay,
is
so-
also €7.
So it is a physical card. It's not an actual digital card, as I foolishly thought. It's an actual card.
Euros 50. However, the anonymous card doesn't allow for automatic top-up, doesn't support subscriptions, and doesn't
Makes sense.
offer any age-related discounts.
Yeah, they don't know who you are. Of course, they can't give you discounts.
Also, you can't block the card if it gets stolen. But
Yeah,
if
who
you have an
cares?
anonymous card, you can still use the Travel Together discount. This lets you travel with someone who does have an NS subscription on their card.
Okay,
Regardless
what
of
are
which
the
one you go
benefits?
for, you'll need to check in before each journey by holding the card against a card reader. And
Yeah.
remember to check out the same way when you exit.
Again, don't you have the reader on your phone? Maybe that's another feature, but I'm surprised they don't have this. If they don't have this,
Remember to keep a close eye on your balance. It's getting
Yeah.
low? No worries.
Top it up.
Top it up at one of the self-service machines at the stations or online if you have a personal card. And there's also the auto top-up option for the personal cards, so you never run out of credit. This little card works on trains, buses, trams, and metros. It's your versatile
it.
travel
It's
buddy
for
across
everything.
the country.
Great, fantastic.
Well, nowadays, if you're not too keen on acquiring a specialized OV chip card, you have the option, introduced this year, to simply use your bank card, phone, or credit card. However, it's worth noting that using these alternatives doesn't grant you access to subscriptions and discounts.
Yeah, but if
Also-
I'm okay, but why would I do that if I'm a tourist and the other anonymous card doesn't really allow me for discounts or whatever? Then maybe this is the way to go.
Keep in mind that buying single tickets is still an option, but
Oh,
be
you can do
warned,
that.
it could cost you more.
Always.
Especially when taking buses, trams, and metros, single tickets can be noticeably more expensive. With the OV chip card or your phone, bank card, or credit card,
It makes sense. Yeah, okay. They're cheaper than paper tickets because the paper ticket, of course, is going to cost more because they have to print it. So it makes sense. But again, who's using paper or anything these days?
you are only charged for the exact journey you make, ensuring you only pay for what you use.
Yeah, of
For the
course.
train, you could also buy an e-ticket through the NS app or website. This is €1 cheaper than a paper ticket. All right, take a
€1.
deep breath because public transport in the Netherlands is among the most expensive in the world.
Oh, it is.
But don't
and I thought it was cheap with the €7. Okay, I'm scared. How
There
much?
are ways to save a bit here and there. For instance, as I mentioned earlier, you can get a subscription. With some subscriptions, you can receive a 40% discount during off-peak hours.
Oh, wow.
Check out the NS website to see all the available subscriptions. Also, in both Amsterdam and Rotterdam, you have the option to get a city discount card. In Amsterdam, the
That would make you
Amsterdam City Card offers unlimited public transport and entry to many museums and attractions. While in
Oh, love
Rotterdam,
that.
the Rotterdam Welcome
Okay, I think maybe as a tourist, I think I would get it because I think I want to visit the museum.
Card provides similar benefits, combining travel with discounts at various venues.
Yeah, maybe it is better.
Having some handy apps can really simplify your travel. The NS app is great for train information and buying tickets online.
I'm wondering if it says that the train will arrive at 4, will it really arrive at 4? How efficient is it? I would assume it is really efficient, right? There's no delays usually.
The
Like, I don't know.
9292 app is another essential tool. This latter app provides timings for all public transport options and suggests the best routes to get you from A to B. Of course, choosing the public transport option in Google Maps is also a reliable way to navigate the public transport system, as it provides accurate and up-to-date information.
And it's sort of in real time.
All right, with this information, you are pretty much up to date and ready to navigate the public transportation in the Netherlands. However, I have a few additional tidbits that I'd love to share shortly with you. They might come in handy. Firstly, I want to talk about the Wadden Islands. These are little islands right at the northern tip of the country. Hidden gems, really, definitely worth visiting if you're spending some longer time in the Netherlands. To get there, you'll need to catch a ferry. Once you're on the islands, your options are a bit limited. So
there's no airport in the island?
Expect to do a lot of walking and cycling. If you're interested in visiting these islands, be sure to check the ferry schedules ahead of time. Next up, the Flixbus. This is a really convenient and affordable way to cover longer distances. It connects many European cities, including several in the Netherlands. And lastly, let's talk about bikes. You might be wondering why I'm discussing bicycles in a video about public transport.
It's crazy. But because it's the Netherlands and you can't really get away without mentioning bikes.
Cycling is so ingrained in Dutch life that it can't be overlooked. The Netherlands is a cyclist's paradise, especially for shorter distances.
Wait, how cheap? This is incredibly cheap. This is the first 3 days, $4.45 per day. I think that's insanely cheap. I'm not crazy, right? I think that's really cheap.
Thanks to its flat landscape and extensive bike paths. If you don't have a bike, no problem. The NS offers bike rentals, so you can easily blend in with the cycling crowd and experience the Dutch way of life.
Of course, you're not getting a bike. You're
All right,
just
folks,
there for 2 weeks.
That's a wrap on public transport in the Netherlands. I hope this guide has eased any worries and answered your questions, making your Dutch journeys smoother and more enjoyable. If you found this guide handy, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more insights into traveling to and experiencing the Netherlands. If there's something specific you want to know about this charming country, feel free to drop a comment, and it might just inspire our next video. Happy travels, and see you in the next.
Wow, okay, this, I love it. The only thing, this is great because, again, I mentioned I think the Netherlands has this really good public transportation system because obviously it's not just bikes, right? They have everything, and I think everything's really connected, which I think I get. I kind of complain because I think I'm not the only one that thinks, that you check out these videos and you're thinking, if the Netherlands can do it, how come other countries cannot do this? They have such a good sort of public transport system that really connects every single city, every single town, because I know that a lot of people, in a lot of other cities and a lot of other countries, the problem is that obviously it tends to be, good, the public transport system, let's assume it's good, let's start there. I know that's not always the case, but let's assume for the sake of this comment that it is good, great, fantastic. But that's only, in the big cities. However, the further you get away from the big sort of capitals and the big cities and the smaller I think the town gets, then, the transportation, the public transport system, it tends to get, it's worse, right? The more rural an area is, I can almost assure you the public transport system is worse, the farther you get away because it's more remote. I get, the logic behind this is, yes, of course they're not going to, invest so much money into either creating creating a subway system or creating this bus, send buses there or whatever it is. Because again, there's only, 10,000 people, 8,000 people. So I kind of understand because it's, their logic, those big companies or whatever, the government or whoever is in charge, it's probably, like saying, well, but why should we invest this huge amount of money if not only, let's say 1,000 people each day move around, they can get away with, getting cars or just doing whatever, carpooling, or, the carpooling is obviously by car. But again, my point is that I understand the logic. Obviously, you as a customer or as a normal person, you don't really understand this because you're thinking, oh my God, this obviously it sucks. Because I think if you are, as a citizen of any country, I think you're supposed to, I think you deserve to have a good public transport system, right? It's not just the people living in the big cities that deserve this. Even you, if you live in a rural area, then you also deserve this. So I guess I get it, right? It's, of course you're going to complain if you're one of the affected people. That's just sort of, oh yeah, subway, we don't have a subway here, or, the public transport is bad and the only way to get around is by car, which I think it sucks, right? But again, that's one thing. And you see, stuff in like here in the Netherlands, and you're thinking, okay, so they can do it. How come other countries cannot do it? But I do think it's really worth to mention because even though, and I'm sort of complaining again a little bit about this, Because I understand, everyone deserves to have a really good, they deserve to have subways, they deserve to have buses. And even though if you live in this remote town, or you want to visit, well, no, because if you want to visit, you're not that much affected by this, because it's just, I'm going there once because I want to visit. But I'm thinking about the people that are actually, that live there, or they have to move around, in the around the country or whatever. So again, they deserve it, because again, we're all citizens of one same place. So again, on one hand, I understand as a customer and, as a citizen, I get it. But also, if I actually put my, my, I don't know, government or big company, shoes, I think, why should I invest in this? No, I know that I wouldn't. But then you look at things like this, oh, the Netherlands does it, then how come we can't? Well, I think in the Netherlands, it's really specific to, the actual geography of the country. I think to begin with, it is quite small. So I think it's easier to move around and to sort of create this system that actually connects every single town, every single city, because it's not a big country. It's simply put, it's a smaller country. So if it's a smaller country, I think it's obviously a little bit easier to sort of connect everything and to create routes and to create buses and to create subways and trams and whatever. Because again, there's really not a lot of space. So we can afford to do this because everything's quite small. And it's not about, the amount of citizens that live in a certain place, because I would assume that most people are, all the towns are just very small, because again, it's a small country. So it's not as if, I have no idea how it works in the Netherlands, but I think, if you let's put the US as an example. Obviously, the big population density is in the big cities. And I think obviously, again, public transport system tends to be a little bit better in the big cities, except for maybe LA. But again, let's assume for the sake of this argument that yes, big cities do tend to have this really big sort of public transport systems, and there's a lot of ways to get around, not always by car. Let's take away cars from the equation. But again, the more rural areas and, the little towns and all of that, they don't really have this. But it's because, again, not a lot of people live there. So again, the population density is different. And there's a really big divide on whether you are from the country or, country as in you live in the boonies, and whoever lives in a big city. And I think in the Netherlands, I'm just assuming, I don't really know how it is over there, but I get the feeling that there's not a great divide, I think, between people that live in these big cities and people that live in more rural areas, because everything's so small that even if you feel, maybe you'll feel, you're in Amsterdam, right? You're an Amsterdam native, and yes, I'm going to put Amsterdam because it's the capital, so I would assume everyone lives there, or not everyone, a lot of people live there, and it's the biggest city. But I think, again, compared to probably other cities, or again, probably other cities around Europe or just in the world, it's just, again, it's really not really that big. So, and ultimately, there's not such a big difference between, the small one or the big city and who's rural and who isn't, because everything just sort of blends together and, I don't know, just moves around. I don't know, I have that theory. I have no idea if that's true. But I think it's just something that I was thinking about this. And yes, I like I think, obviously it's good, the OV chip card. I have a few questions though. Again, I think it's really cheap, but I don't think I understood right. I think if I got it, it was 7 euros, 8 euros for the actual card. But I would have loved to know how much does a trip cost? Does it, obviously again, it's maybe in between Amsterdam or in Rotterdam. Is it all the same? Is it one more expensive? Probably I would assume Amsterdam is more expensive than Rotterdam, but maybe they are sort of almost the same. And which one's cheaper? Is it the subway? Is it the bus? And how much does it actually cost? They mentioned it's one of the most expensive public transport systems in the world. Not even in Europe, in the world. So I'm a little bit concerned about that, because the card is just 7 euros. But yeah, I was led astray by that. I was bamboozled. I was, but who cares? It's just 8 euros. No. But that's just for the card. If you actually need to top it up, I want to know how much. Okay, so how much does it cost you? I think the one, I like, obviously the personal card is, that's what I would assume most people that live in the Netherlands use. Even though I get most people, as they mentioned, they use bikes. But I think as long as you live in a big city, or just any city, I think that has a subway or has, this big buses, well, not big, but they have a really good bus system or tram system, even though you don't really, maybe you don't really use it that often, you always have your card, right? You always carry your card with you, even though you, oh, maybe maybe again in the Netherlands, maybe you go around, you ride around on your bike, and it's your own bike. That's your sort of your primary means of transportation. But you're still gonna have your card just in case, because I know that even I think in big cities you can do this. I think that's normal. Even if you have a card, you still have your little card, because who knows? You never know. So yes, it's, you have the option because you live there, so you always have your card. You always carry your card with you because you don't know. Oh, I'm gonna choose to take this away this time, or maybe I'll go somewhere that it's better to take the bus, or I don't know. I just think everyone that lives in a city that has this public transport system, you have the card either way, whether or not maybe you don't use it every single time, or you don't really use it that often, but you still carry it around with you, which I think is quite good. And I love the idea but that was in Rotterdam, if I got it right, that they also have the subscriptions. Well, they mentioned the subscriptions as well in Amsterdam. But I love the idea that they also offers you other things as entrance to museums, and they probably has other benefits. I kind of love that. I think if I were visiting, I would maybe choose that option. Even though, yes, I'm not staying there long term, but I like the idea of, well, no, I don't know, maybe you would have to do the math and see, no, it's not really worth it. It's just better to, buy your ticket to the museum as a tourist. But I love the idea of, you have this card. I think maybe a lot of people should with the anonymous card, which I don't know how much people actually use this or do this, but I would assume that if it's several members in one family, or you or with your friends, with your group of friends, or maybe with your roommates, you kind of, okay, let's all pitch in. We have one anonymous card, and we sort of, everyone uses it, and we have one. And we take turns, oh, you're going to just use the card today. Oh, okay, so here it is. Again, maybe I do this, I don't know, because apparently you can't use it, simultaneously, obviously, because if you're, you can't just go in and, the actual system understands that you're using a tram, and then, in another area of town, you want to use the bus. The card's going to be what? No, you can't be in two places at the same time. So again, I understand that idea, but I think maybe if it's that expensive of a system, maybe that's what people do. They sort of gather around, and you get together with a couple of friends, or again within one family, and everyone uses the same card, and we all pitch in and so top it up. Or I don't know, I recharge, I don't know, 50, and then it's your turn, and they take turns. I don't know. We'd like to know how it works, because I'm really concerned about the most expensive system in the world. But again, it's efficient. So again, you're good because you're paying something good. But I want to know how expensive it is, so I can be either scared, or I don't know. I think I'm going to be a little bit scared about the prices, but I would love to know. But that was it for today, and I'll see you soon. Bye.